minor technology glitches at noon today just because everybody was on the internet, but we're so excited to be back again. We're giving you an awesome fitness workout this afternoon with a friend of mine. His name is Jason Lee, and he's the owner of Black Tusk Athletics, which is a CrossFit gym on 124th Street. And him and his wife run an amazing studio there. Great community of people, and they really understand the value of community, which is all we're talking about on these sessions today and over the next coming weeks is the value of community and how we can all share space together. So, Adriana, how about we introduce Jason? Bring him on the screen.
Yeah. Here we go.
Hey,
Jason.
Hi, everybody.
I love it. We got it to work. Fantastic.
Yes, it's working so far.
Yeah. Okay. How are you doing? How are you managing with the climate right now? Everything that's going on?
Yeah, like everyone else, we're managing. Obviously, this is the ideal scenario that we all want to be in, but we're trying to be positive and make the best out of things and showing each other elastic bands. Hey, good job. Yeah, we're doing our best.
It's going to be a hot commodity around these days, you know?
Yeah, you never know what it is, you know? And yeah, I'm glad that you guys are putting this together because everyone is getting a little bit stir crazy with not being able to go to work or whatever the case may be. So movement is key, you know, trying to get those endorphins running. So, you know, we're trying to do our best and kind of give a resource out for people.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
tell us a little bit about so what are you doing with your gym now that, no one can go?
Yeah, so we actually closed down on Monday, and I don't even know what the timeline is anymore, but I think most people closed down on Tuesday or Wednesday. The state of emergency was on Wednesday, so we decided to close down a little bit earlier just because we thought that it was the more responsible thing to do, and it gave us a little bit more lead time to prepare for our at-home program. So what we did was that we lent out a piece of equipment to any member who was part of our gym at that point, so they had something. I mean, closing down the gym meant that the equipment was just going to sit there. So we rented out for one piece of equipment for anyone, and then we were adjusting our workouts to kind of follow something that we can do at home. So every day we're on Facebook Live with our private members group, and we're following along. We have workout trackers, so we're trying to make everything seem as normal as possible, even though we don't get to see each other. And with Black Tusk being with the community, with Black Tusk being as strong as it was, we're trying our best to keep that alive. Virtually, obviously, is the only thing that we can do at this point. So we're going to keep that alive until we can get back to normal.
Yeah, but you get this unique little window into everybody's life that you normally have them coming into your space. Now you're
exactly
in your space at home, and it gives you this whole different view of things, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because Anna and myself, we have access to the gym, obviously, but we brought home a couple of dumbbells and we're doing the at-home workouts like everyone else. Number one, it's not fair, right? And I'm not going to go to the gym myself and get more fit than everyone else and use those resources. So we're showing people that we can still get a really good workout at home while doing it the same as everyone else.
Awesome. And can you just tell us a tiny bit before we get going into your session? Just tell us a little bit about your story. Where did it come from? How did you end up in the life that you are as a gym owner?
Yeah.
Where did this idea of Black Tusk come from?
Yeah, it's a little bit different, I would say. So Anna and myself, we were born and raised in Edmonton, so we're came university, all that. Then we moved to Vancouver just for a little bit of lifestyle change after we got married. Hi. Yeah, she's just showing you her food. Gummies. Oh, yeah, gummies.
That's awesome.
So we moved to Vancouver for a little bit, and we were just overrun, overworked, and fitness wasn't a big part of our lives. Just like everyone else, we were kind of in and out of the gym, but nothing was really sticking. So what we did, we actually found a CrossFit gym. It's because one of my coworkers was a CrossFit coach. We got brought to a trial class, and we just kind of got hooked. We drank the Kool-Aid, you say, right? And that was really life-changing for us. And I don't use that term lightly. It was really life-changing for us because we were, on the brink of probably divorce. Where we were just not happy with ourselves. We weren't happy with our relationships. We weren't happy with the community. And when we found CrossFit, everything really flipped to that point. So when we moved home, Anne was pregnant with Toa, and we decided to move home, obviously try to be a little bit closer to family. And, we were trying to create a community that we found in Vancouver that, if we could kind of do what CrossFit did to us to someone else, that would have made a world of difference. So that's kind of where that story ends, and here we are.
That's incredible. I love the vulnerability of it. I love when people are honest about their stories, because then we can all connect to it. We all have those moments. So thank you for sharing.
For sure. Of course.
So you're going to give us like a little session. You want to break it out for us of how you're going to go?
Yeah, absolutely. So our session, we're going to have 4 5-minute windows. So I wanted to make it a little bit more fun, a little bit competitive. So whether or not you're competing with your siblings, your mom or dad, or just with me online, we're going to have 4 5-minute windows at which we're going to do some body weight movements. And I'll teach you guys how to scale. We'll warm up a little bit, and then we're going to get nice and sweaty. So the first 5-minute window, we're going to do 30 push-ups. Then the second 5-minute window, we're doing 40 burpees. Then we're going to do 50 sit-ups. And then the last but not least is 100 air squats. So all of this, you don't need any equipment to do.
Yeah.
But we're going to try to do it as fast as possible, obviously with good form. So I'm going to teach everyone how to do that.
All right.
Awesome. Let's do it.
All right. So first thing, I'm going to back up now so you guys can see me. So what we're going to do first is just a quick little warm up. Most of everyone has been sitting around quite a bit. So what we're going to do is we're just going to give ourselves a hug. You go right arm over, left arm over, right arm over, left arm over. You can do this for about 20 reps to really open up your chest. So as I'm doing this, I'm really, if you see from the side, I'm really puffing my chest out. Puffing my chest out as much as I can. So about 20 reps here. And once you're done that, we're going to go up and down. So you're going to reach as high as you can while keeping that belly nice and tight at the top. You're going to reach, and you're going to swing down. Reach and swing down. That's again for another 20 reps. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, now we got the upper body a little bit loose now. So what I'm going to do now, I have a chair here with me. This is just for balance. I'm going to do some leg swings. So this, again, I'm using my left hand here to balance while I use my right leg to swing up and down. So I'll back up a little bit so you can see me. So I'm going up and down, swing back and forth. So I'm making sure I'm nice and tight while loosening up those hamstrings. I'm going to go straight leg as possible for about 10 reps here. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side for about 10 reps. So I'm just swinging my legs here. So now, once I'm done 10 reps per side, I'm going to balance this. I may have done 10. I don't know. I lost count. So I'm going to hold this guy here, and I'm going to swing my legs side to side. So just move this camera down a little bit so you can see me. So I'm going to balance, lean forward a little bit, and just try to point my toes up every single time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then the same thing with the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so now we're feeling a little bit sweaty now, so my arms feel nice and loose and my legs feel nice and loose. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna do 30 push-ups. So I'm gonna teach you some scaling options. First, I'm gonna show you what a push-up is. Ideally, in my mind, looks like this. So my hands are as tight as possible. I'm gonna try to keep my hands straight near my rib cage. So as you can see in that plank position, I'm making sure my back is nice and flat. I'm not dropping too far, nor am I having my butt up too high. I'm gonna go all the way down and all the way up. All the way down and all the way up. Move the screen down real quick here. Okay, hi. Okay. All right, so again, it's all the way down, it's all the way up. So if you cannot do a push-up with a straight plank, what we're gonna do is we're gonna scale. We're not going down to our knees just because that kind of disengages our core. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna find an object. So you guys noticed that I had a chair there. I use this quite a bit. You can turn it to the side, still be in a half plank position, and get that full range of motion. Down and up, down and up. As you can see here, if that's a little bit too easy for you, then you can use anything. Just kind of depends on the height of the object that you want to use. So you can use a couch. We have my couch over here. We have a bunch of toys I can use. This is a little bit shorter. My daughter's chair here, so I can always do that as well. Find an object, something that we can finish those push-ups with. So, but the main important point is that making sure that your elbows are nice and tight to your body, and then you get full range of motion. We want our whole body to move as the way it's designed. So the first 5 minutes, we're gonna race to 30 push-ups. So you guys, again, you can find someone else to race with. You can race with me. I'm gonna set a timer for myself just to keep track of what my time is. And if you want, you can even post your times on Facebook here when you guys are done, and then we can kind of go forward. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my phone and I'm gonna start the timer, just a regular timer here. So I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, and then when I go, I'm gonna take a quick look at my phone and to see what time it was, okay? So if you're ready, you guys are gonna follow along. We're gonna do 30 push-ups per time here. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Getting a little tired, shaking a little bit. I have 10 more to go. 21, 22, 25. So again, if I can't keep my form, I'm going to come out, rest a little bit, and go again. I got 5 more to do. And last one, time. So that took me 50 seconds to do. Okay? So if you beat me, good on you. If not, that's cool too, as long as you get a good little burn in there. So we're going to do a little bit of a rest here. Prepare for the next thing. So the next thing we're going to do is a race to 40 burpees, which is a little bit more difficult. But I'm going to give you guys a chance to finish up. Oh, can't hear you there, Tim.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there, I hear you now. Yeah.
Hold on. There we go. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Are you breathing a little bit?
A little bit, yeah. So that's the first part of it.
Yeah, I feel guilty because I'm just like sitting here like watching Jason go.
You can do it after, Tim.
I should do that at home. I really should. I wanted to ask you a question about push-ups though, because it's actually one of the confusing ones that a lot of people do wrong, and I actually probably did them wrong for my entire life, where a lot of people really are going super wide, right?
Yeah.
What you're trying to say is keep it under your shoulders, keep it tight to your body. Really
Absolutely.
different than what you might see on TV.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real wrong way of doing it. For me, it's just thinking about what's the most functional way of doing it, right? So if I'm thinking about pushing someone over or pushing a door, do you ever see anyone push a door this way?
Yeah.
It's usually through this.
Right.
Right? So if you're trying to push someone over in the strongest position, that's the position that you want to be. And it just kind of helps you without getting too deep into the anatomy. Yeah. You want to be able to set your shoulder blades in place, and it's a little bit easier to do so if your hands are a little more narrow. So naturally where your shoulders are going to be aligned. That's kind of what we want to focus on.
And push-ups too is one of those ones like what age would kids is it okay for kids to start doing push-ups? Because mostly the people who are going to be watching this are parents with people young kids themselves between the ages of sort of 8 and 13. What's it?
Yeah, I mean, really, you can do it whenever, right? Kids are very flexible, right? So you can see we want them to have some sort of strength. So their push-ups may look a little bit messy, so they can start doing push-ups whether or not on a bench or boxes and whatnot. And that's just going to help them build a little bit of strength. We're not looking to do anything crazy high volume for them at this point, right? Because they don't need to, and it's just about having fun, right? And
Yeah.
I wouldn't really necessarily say, oh, you're at age 8 right now, you can start doing push-ups. If you do 1 or 2 push-ups here and there, that's totally cool too, right? Even if your push-ups are just onto a box or a bench or the couch, totally fine. Just having fun with it is really the biggest thing.
Awesome. Okay, go on to the next challenge.
Okay, so the next challenge, this is a little bit more difficult in terms of the heart rate. We're gonna race to 40 burpees. So 40 burpees, I know there's some different variations of what a burpee may look like. So what we're gonna do is, again, we're gonna be full range of motion. So it's like a half push-up. You're gonna make sure that the whole body touches the ground, and you're gonna jump up. Doesn't have to be super high, as long as your feet leave the ground, and you're gonna reach above your head. You don't have to go straight armed, but you're gonna reach a little bit above your head. So I'm gonna back up here a little bit so you can see exactly what I mean by that. So the burpee here, you see me? I'm gonna come down again. My hands are tight to my body. I'm gonna shoot back with my feet. I'm gonna shoot forward, and I'm gonna clap overhead. That's 1. That's 2. Okay, so very simple. I want to again try to be as tight as possible. But the burpee is a burpee, right? I mean, the thing with burpees is that you don't necessarily need to overthink it. Getting onto the ground and off the ground is really what we're looking for here. So again, this is a race for 40. Scaling options here, you can't really scale the movement in terms of like kind of shortening the range. You can, however, do it by not going all the way to the ground. So what you could do instead is I call it a kickback burpee. So your hands are here, you're gonna kick your feet back, up, and skip. So that's an option you want. If you cannot do that, or it's really difficult for you to do, scale on the number of reps. Maybe you do 20 instead of 40, which I'm going to do here. So again, have fun with it, right? It's about getting your heart rate up and going a little bit quicker than you're comfortable in doing. So I'm going to start the timer here for my burpees for 40 burpees. I'm going to reset my clock and then kind of be ready for it. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and you want to do burpees too? Go. 1. 2. 3.
Oh, come here.
4. Oh. 5. 6. Try to keep breathing through it. 7. 8. 9. Breathing is important. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25.
It is, but wait.
26.
Which one's your baby one?
27.
Which is the smallest one? Yeah. That's
28.
your baby one, right? So,
29.
Mommy's gonna put this one in now, okay? Wanna walk?
30. 31.
And then, you're gonna sit down and Mom's gonna do your
32.
Oh, get your real
33. 34. 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. All right. Whew. That took me 2 minutes, 25 seconds. As you can tell, I'm very out of breath right now. Do your best. Try not to stop. Try to pick a number and get to that number. Keep moving even if you don't want to. Making sure you're moving nice and safe. Try to get your heart rate up a little bit. So that's 40 burpees.
Whew. I don't think you can see me right now, but you can probably hear me.
I can hear you.
I just finished passing out on the floor because I felt guilty watching you doing that. Ooh, haven't done 40 burpees in a long time.
Yeah, there you go.
That's good. It was really good.
Get your heart rate up a little bit and then having fun with it, right?
Yeah, totally.
You guys still might be doing your 40 burpees, and that's okay. Follow along and try to keep moving.
I did it too.
You do the burpees?
Okay, good.
I was like, I don't think I've ever done 40 burpees in a row before.
Well, yeah, you did it, right?
I won't lie. I came and sat down after 10, and I was like, wait, no. I saw Tim, and I was like, wait, no. I gotta
You can do it.
myself.
Exactly.
Good.
Awesome.
A little bit of accountability can go a long way, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Just having other people around you doing it too.
Oh,
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't like to guilt people, but I guilted him into it as a time as well.
That was awesome.
There any burpees is a weird one too. So is there any technique like, okay, if I'm coming down, is there a distance my legs should be apart? Is there a distance my hands should be apart? Like what's the secret to doing a burpee and learning a burpee? Because it's a movement that actually a lot of people don't really know. Yeah,
that's a really good question. I mean, because everyone's built a little bit differently. I know, having seen you in person, I know you're taller. Yeah. So your legs are longer. So actually, you're at a little bit of a mechanical disadvantage when it comes to this. I give you an excuse, Tim. But for me, I have really short legs. So what I could do, I'm going to try to keep them as straight as possible. So if you see here, I'm keeping them straight and hinging so I don't have to do this. This is more work.
Right.
So the straighter your legs, the better.
Right, because you're cutting out the squat, right?
Yeah, you're hinging, exactly.
Right, and that's another.
You don't want to put yourself in a bad position to get straight legs. So if you do need to squat a little bit with bent knees, feel free to do that, right? I mean, it's just the way that we're all built a little bit differently. So some people may have easier time doing burpees, some might not have. But that's just the way that we're built. Yeah.
And that's sort of a mechanical position that, like, again, I did a lot of sports as a kid, but we never really talked about, like, how much now when I go to the gym and I have professional coaches like yourself, how much people talk about the hip hinge.
Yeah.
Just mention that a little bit of, like, the value for some people listening out there who might be hearing that for the first time. For sure, kids are hearing it for the first time.
Absolutely.
What is it about a hip hinge?
So if people don't know what the hip hinge is, it's the ability to push your hips back while keeping your back nice and flat. Back and core nice and braced. And that is one of the fundamental movements for everything that we do in terms of squatting, picking things off the floor, which is the deadlift, even for the burpees. So having the ability to do so while keeping mobile is very important. So a lot of it is core focus. If you don't have a strong core, if you don't have the right mobility, hinging might be a real issue for you. You probably might see a lot of people when they try to hinge, they end up going like this and start riding the upper back. The more that we can keep it straight, the better it is for movements in general. And I always say, when we talk about the hinge, if I were to draw a line from my hip bone to my shoulder, so my hip bone here, from the shoulder, it should be moving it as one line. So the hinge, shooting your hips back, not your butt. This is my butt sticking out. You see that big arch? I'm gonna lock that down. So you want to hinge with your chest falling forward and your hips back. So that's a very important skill to learn through every movement, right? So we're talking about strength and conditioning for kids playing sports. In order to be able to lift weight, eventually, if that is something that you want to do, learning how to hip hinge is a very important, vital tool.
Awesome. Good point. Okay, so we've recovered a tiny bit, or at least we have, because you've been talking the whole time. What's the next 5 minutes that you're going to do?
Yeah, the next 5 minutes is a little bit of easier than the 40 burpees. I can't do that on purpose because 40 burpees is gonna kind of lay out some people. So what we're gonna do is 50 straight leg sit-ups. So
Okay.
I'll tell you what that looks like.
Okay.
And the reason why we're doing them straight legged is because it's a little bit easier. When we butterfly our feet this way, it gives you a little bit less range of motion. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go straight legs, kind of counterbalance our weight. You're gonna come back, you just swing your arms up and sit all the way up. A lot of people might just sit up to here and reach forward, but you want, again, we're looking for full range of motion here. So again, all the way back, all the way forward. You can swing your arms, and some people might say that's a little bit cheating, but because we are doing a little bit of high volume in terms of the reps, we can start swinging our arms a little bit. But again, it's like having fun with it, right? So if you have a child here, hey, Toa, you want to come over here?
Just for a second. No.
Okay, not Toa doesn't want to, but Anne, if she wants to help me a little bit, here's another scaling option. If straight leg is a little bit difficult for you, she can step on my feet if you have a partner, and then all she's gonna do is lay there, and then maybe we'll give a high five. 2, right? If not, you can go straight leg, or you can tuck your feet under like a couch or something. That works too. So again, having fun with it, and we're making sure you're getting that core work in there. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna actually tuck my feet out under the couch, or Anne's gonna step on my feet for me, and I'm gonna try to blast out 50. So scaling options again. You're gonna try to make sure that you're moving through as much as you can. So if 50 is a lot for you, and you find that you're doing 2s and 3s towards the end of it, or even midway through your 50 reps, to scale down the number of reps. It's totally cool. If you're doing 40 reps, it's better than nothing. If you're doing 30 reps, that's better than nothing. So we're gonna try our best to kind of keep moving and get that core work in. So 50 sit-ups. So I'm gonna put my timer on. So we're gonna race again. Okay. So Anne, you wanna help step on my feet here real quick? So we're gonna do high 5 sit-ups. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's burning. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25,
Halfway.
26, 27, 28. Slow it down. 29,
Some real sweat happening over here.
31, 32, it burns. 33, 34,
Come on, dude.
35, 36, 37, 38, 39,
Let's go.
40,
That's
10 more.
lessons.
1,
2,
3, 4, 5,
that's fine.
6, 7,
Hang on, honey.
8,
Almost there.
9,
That's not very nice.
10. Time. Woo! 1 minute, 42 seconds for me. I don't like sit-ups. That one was tough for me. 142. Share your times, please. Whew. If you're like me and you're not good with sit-ups, that's something you need to do.
Yeah, that's another one of those movements though, where it's like one of those classic movements that you see everywhere, especially people. Well, you're younger than me, but people who are a little bit older. You saw that in popular media all our childhood, right? It was like the sit-up and Rocky and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's still as relevant, the sit-up, today as it was like for kids, particularly. Is it still as relevant today as it was, when we were growing up and seeing it in popular?
I mean, I would say so. I think strength and conditioning has changed. It's evolved through the years. There's a little bit more weight training and whatnot. And because it's accessibility, right? Sit-ups is accessible as any movement because you can do them by yourself. You can do it with a partner. You can add to it. You do weighted sit-ups if you wanted to. You can do really anything. But that's why it's kind of stand through the test of time that it is something that we can do. I would say there are more movements that you can do now in terms of building your core and specifically your abs.
Right.
I don't mean to say your abs is just that's the only thing with your core. Obviously, your pelvis, your butt, your lower back, all that is still within your core. Is what we group into it. But with sit-ups, it does actually work that sitting up motion, right? So it is definitely still relevant.
And how important for a young athlete or someone who's just like looking to play recreationally, how important are the muscles that you're working on in a sit-up, which obviously is your stomach muscles, but how important are those for the basic biomechanics, the basic movements we do when we're running and we're jumping and we're throwing and we're kicking?
Yeah, I mean, I would maybe categorize learning how to brace a little bit more than I would rather rank that a little bit higher than doing an actual sit-up. I think the sit-up will help get that range of motion, and your spine is obviously designed to kind of move the way that it is when we go through the range of motion of a sit-up. But again, it's about having fun with it, right? Kids have a lot of fun. If I have an 8-year-old and I tell them to, okay, now we're gonna have a 5-minute session on learning how to brace, that's not fun.
Yeah.
Right. So having sit-ups for kids is a really good tool to be able to have them engage and a little bit more fun. But I would honestly say learning how to brace properly and kind of to our point before, learning how to hip hinge properly. Those are kind of more important than learning how to do a real sit-up, to be honest.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so your last piece to make you finish your sweat so your hat fully comes off.
Yeah, exactly. This one's gonna hurt. The last piece is it's 100 reps of an air squat. So air squat meaning there's just no weight. We're just using a body air squat. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like, and we're gonna go through scaling options once again. So an air squat looks like this. I'll show you what it looks like first. So from here, we're gonna start in a full standing position where my knees are locked out, my hips are straight, I'm not bending over at all. On my feet, I want them not hip width apart, which is just underneath. I want to be able to shoulder width apart. So what I want to do is I want to flare my feet out ever so slightly. I'm not looking for a big flare, but just ever so slightly with my feet hip, about shoulder width apart. What I'm going to do here, as you can see, I'm going to push with my hip back to initiate the movement. I'm going to squat to full depth. That means my hip crease is under my knee. So again, that's 1 rep. So I'm standing all the way up. I'll show you here again. So it goes down and then up, standing all the way up. Down, and standing all the way up. We want to practice full range of motion. We don't want to be doing air squats like this. Sure, that's still doing work, but our body, again, is designed to move in full range of motion. So that's what we're going to do. Now, there are a lot of people who may have mobility issues that may not be able to do a full range of motion air squat. So I got my trusty little baby chair here. So if this brings me to about parallel, this is actually lower than me, then I'm going to stand up through there. Now, if you are hypermobile, sometimes people might get a little bit too low on the air squat, being this way. You see I'm kind of collapsed there? So I want you to be nice and tight at the bottom. So I'm engaged here. This is collapsed, this is engaged. That's what I want to do. Again, if you have either hypermobility issues, which means you're too flexible, then maybe block yourself from going too deep. Maybe you sit up onto a chair and stand. Okay, that's also acceptable. Everyone has a different starting point. So we're going to try our best to get to 100 reps. And again, I don't expect the person who has never done an air squat in their life to go through and do 100 air squats. Scale down if you need to. The number of reps doesn't really matter. If you want to do 80, if you want to do 60, if you want to do 40, that's totally cool too. But pick a number and you're going to try your best not to stop. Our quads and our butt, it's going to burn while doing squats, but that's okay. I want you guys to get used to a little bit of that. We'll flush out that lactic acid afterwards. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to move through this as quickly as possible while maintaining tightness through your midline. Tight, tight, right? And getting full range of motion if you can. All right? So, like I said, this one's going to hurt a little bit, but I'm prepared for that. But we're going to get started here. We're gonna race. Reset my clock. I think we need a little bit of music when it comes to this. So I'm gonna throw on some music onto my Google speakers here, and then we're gonna get going. One sec here. Might be here for a while, so. Okay. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 22, 23, 24, 25, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Halfway there. $65. 70. 71. 74. Birds. 75. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 88, 89, 90, 92, 93, 94, 95, 97, 98, 99, 100. That was a good one. That was Bernie. 2:38. It's my time.
Oh.
Hope you guys follow along with that.
Oh.
Burns.
Oh. You forget like how such a simple movement can be so hard.
And that's the thing. It doesn't have to be difficult. Doesn't have to be complicated for it to be difficult.
Yeah.
It's something that we can do in everyday life. And this avenue that you put on, go on Facebook Live, it really helps us with that accountability to get through that.
Yes.
You see, I'm sweating a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, no matter what fitness level you're at, find something that works for you, find something that you can keep moving, and find something that is fun. That is really the biggest thing. If you're not having fun, you're not going to do it again. So find something fun.
Totally. Like, how do you find when you're doing this day in and day out? Like, what are the things you talk about fun, obviously, but what are the things that will keep you going, keep you moving when you're doing 100 squats day in and day out? Like, what's the thing that keeps you coming back for more? I guess. How do you stay motivated?
Yeah, that's a really good question again. So for myself, it's obviously there's got to be some sort of internal burn that you want to keep improving. And I'm not just talking about the physical side, right? I mean, that's everything in life. The physical side is just the microcosm of what we kind of should be approaching with our everyday life to kind of keep striving for improvement. So that's my kind of internal burn, but then also the community. At Black Tusk, we have the fortune of coming across a lot of cool people that we want to be accountable for. So even though we're gym owners, myself and Anne, we don't work out alone. We do it in the gym. We sign ourselves up for classes, and we're doing it with everyone else because that's important to us.
Yeah.
And having that kind of accountability really helps. So again, it's in terms of shifting our accountability towards online. Having that avenue is such a key to be able to keep going forward and day in and day out. And honestly, just not overthinking it. We just take one workout at a time. It's like some days, don't get me wrong, there's some days where like, man, I don't want to do that workout. Like the program that we have today for our Black Tusk athletes, it's 100 burpees for time. And we have a lot of people didn't want to do it, but they did it, and they feel so much better after that. And I can tell you what, right now, Tim, like I wasn't, as you know, I wasn't feeling too hot yesterday, but after doing this workout, I feel so much better. And the endorphins are running through my body right now, and it's like it's a little bit of a drug, to be honest, and that also helps.
Oh
You
yeah.
always search for that feeling, and then obviously the day 2 and day 3 afterwards, that soreness, and it was also really welcoming too. I like the soreness. I like having my body feel sore. It makes me feel like I've done something.
Yeah, and that's a whole brand now, Live Sore, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true for sure.
Day in, day out.
Yeah.
What do you think of sort of, we've done your 4 things. Adriana is back here now.
Yeah.
Let's give like everybody some homework. Give Adriana some homework.
Waiting for the homework.
The first time that she said she's done 40 burpees.
Yes.
I'm sure for all the kids.
I gotta maybe boost my time a little bit.
Yeah, you know what? That's good. I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing this every day. I mean, it gets kind of monotonous if you're going to do the same thing over and over again.
Right.
Try to mix it up, right? I think the biggest thing for homework, if you did do this workout, the first piece of homework that I would give is drink enough water.
Oh.
It's very easy right now for us to sit around and do nothing. So step 1, let's do something easy and attainable, which is drinking enough water.
Yeah.
There's lots of research out there on how much water you should be drinking. So feel free to Google that and see how much water you should be drinking for your own body. Number 2, just keep moving. It doesn't matter what it is. Even if you want to go for the weather is turning for the better at this time. Like the sun is shining, you guys can see. Just go out for a walk, right? So even if you are quite a bit sore after this workout, go out for a walk. You're gonna feel so much better. So really those 2 things, and then finding some online resources, right, to try to keep yourself moving. Keep following, Free Footy here, and I know you guys are kind of running through a lot of people, a lot of different workouts, like mixing it up, the fun things. So those main things, just kind of keep moving from the physical aspect, and then just don't overcomplicate it and have fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. That's awesome. I think that's a great way to end on it. It's like, don't overcomplicate it. Have some fun. Keep moving.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, it worked out. The technology worked, which I'm super excited about. It looked fantastic. I really appreciate your time. It's nice to see your daughter running around. I really love the feeling and experience of like visiting everybody's home. It's just like you wouldn't get to do that.
Exactly. It's always welcome for sure, and we appreciate kind of connecting with everyone with like-minded mindset. So we're super happy to do things like this.
Okay, great. Okay, we'll call on you again.
Okay. So much.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jason.
See you later.
Thank you. Take care, guys.